Okay, so good morning and welcome. Today is Tips for Measuring Online Success. You invest time, effort, and resources into being online, but do you know how much it's worth to your bottom line? This workshop introduces 3 ways to track and measure progress using tools from Google so you can find out. If you do have questions, there will be points in between. Otherwise, you can enter them in the chat box and we'll cover them at the end. Okay. So today we're going to cover, we'll start with the basic question. Why do it? Why should you measure your success? How to evaluate the performance of your website, your business listing, and then we'll discuss a little bit about ad campaigns. So let's just get started. We'll start by talking about why tracking and measuring is important. It's important to evaluate the time and money that you're investing into your business, whether it's a new marketing tactic or a strategy that you've been using since you started. Making sure your efforts are working is important in reaching your goals and giving yourself the most value to the dollar or to the minute. If you're not holding your online presence accountable, you have no way to track and measure its benefit to your business. If you have no idea whether your website is helping your business make sales, how can you know whether it's worthwhile to invest more time and money and effort into it? There are many reasons to track and measure. It can help you understand how people are getting to your site, such as channels like other websites, social media, and email. It can help you understand if your website and other apps are helping visitors accomplish tasks and take desired actions, whether you want them to purchase something or join your email list or sign up for an event. It can also give insight to your audience. What are they looking at on your site? What actions do they take? When do they visit? Where do they live? All those little details. And it can show you where your resources are best spent. Is that pay-per-click advertising, video marketing, or content development? There are many, many things that you can track and measure using tools like Google Analytics. One reasonable question is, what's important to track and why not? That answer depends on you and what your goals are. Why do you have a website? What are you trying to accomplish? If you're trying to build brand awareness, you might be keenly interested in getting as many unique visitors as possible to visit your website. You might want to see if those visitors are spending time on your site and what content they're looking at. And once they get to your site, you might want to see what they actually do there and what tasks they accomplish. Analytics will show you the stats for each individual page that you have on your site. Also, you might want to learn more about the audience you have so that you can find ways to bring them back and keep them there longer. Tracking your bounce rate will help you with this part specifically. So how do you track and measure? There are many digital tools that include some form of reporting because the nature of technology makes it relatively simple to do so. Google My Business, for example, includes reports called Insights that show where and how often business listings into information surface on Google search and maps. This is very simple to set up and analyze, and we'll get to that in a little bit. If you're running an ad campaign, AdWords Express includes reports that help customers understand the value of the ads and what exactly they're paying for. Most digital tools, like email marketing platforms, offer some similar reports that help customers understand the value of the product for their business. Constant Contact is another great SBDC partner, and they're a great and easy tool to use for email marketing. There are actually discounts available to SBDC clients, so you can feel free to send me an inquiry after the webinar to learn more about the code. Sometimes you might need different reports or more details, or reports that work across different products and channels. There are many other options available, even including a simple creating your own Excel file to track different methods. And last but not least, talk to your customers. Ask them for feedback about everything related to your business. At the very least, you can gather ideas to test it out and using your reporting tools to track and measure the results. This session specifically talks about 3 options that Google offers for you. Google Search Console, previously known as Webmaster Tools, Google Analytics, and the mobile website speed testing tool, which is extremely helpful. We actually use it here for our office as well. So now that we know why we should measure, we'll just get started on the first section. Evaluating your website. Roughly half of small business owners already have a website. So you could actually raise your hand on here if you have some type of small business or you're in the process and you already have a website set up. Okay, so maybe not half, but we do have a number of them, so that's pretty good. Whether you've had a site for years or you're just getting started, start gathering data about your website usage right away. As the time passes and your site attracts more visitors, hopefully, you can refer to these reports to learn about your audience and how you've grown. We can look at 3 ways that you can do that. Like I mentioned, the Google Search Console, Analytics, and mobile website speed testing tool. So we'll start with Google Search Console. It's a free web-based service that helps you monitor and maintain your website's presence in Google's organic search results. This is always something important. People like to say that you want to have your website or your name in general pop up within the first 5 search results. Normally, people don't really scroll past that or go to the next pages. They just kind of go with what pops up first. That's not necessarily an ad. So Google Search Console is a simple way to test this out. To add your website to your Search Console account, you visit this website right here, google.com/webmasters. You can sign in with the Google account that you use for your business and click on Add a Property. You enter your website, and then you have to prove that you own the site. Different site verification things will pop up, but it's fairly simple to go through. Data collection for a property starts as soon as the property is added in any Search Console account, even before it's verified. But it may take some time before diagnostic and other data is available to see in the reports. That's normal. It can take some time for it to gather and process data for your site. Data collection continues as long as any user has that property in their account, whether or not it's been verified by the owner. The data is only retained for a certain period of time. However, normally it's not deleted before 90 days. So why should you use it? Why not? You can make sure that Google can access your website. You can submit new content and remove content that you don't want shown in the search results, and you can monitor your website for problems. It shows you how Google and the world sees your website. You can see reports that tell you which queries cause your site to appear in search results, which websites link to your site, if the site works well on mobile devices, and a lot more. So here are some 3 real-world examples where Google Search Console can come in handy. The first is a major site update. Say after you leave the presentation, you decide to overhaul your site and focus on different content. You can check the Search Console whenever you make significant changes to monitor its behavior in Google Search. When you add new content to your site, you can test that Google can access your pages using the Fetch as Google tool. You can tell Google to crawl by updating your sitemap and tell Google which pages not to crawl. After a few weeks after you post your content, you can confirm that the number of indexed pages in your site is rising and that you don't have any blocked resources that might impair Google's crawling of your pages. The second is having a new domain name. Say, for example, and they have this bakery here that they use with most Google presentations. Say you've been using the domain name Stasia's Fantastic Bakery is thebestbakery.com. but your web marketing friends encouraged you to go for something more pithy, plus it's just too long to print on your business card. So you decide to switch to StasiaBakery.com. You can use the Search Console's change of address tool to point Google search to the new location. It's pretty simple to do, and it's very important, because if you change the name of your site, you don't want it to come up with an unknown error, things like that, because then people will get directed to somewhere else. The third one is international content. You can use special tags to designate that particular web pages that are intended for different countries and different languages. So if you are checking your analytics and you see that you have a lot of people from other countries, you can designate your designate your website to be displayed or available in different languages. You can use the International Targeting Report to search in Search Console to get reports back about the international pages to make sure that they're working correctly and not returning on errors. So I've been mentioning this a lot so far. What exactly is Google Analytics? To begin to understand the strengths and weaknesses of your website, you need to understand what visitors did or didn't do when they get there. This is all called website analytics data, and Google offers the free analytics tool called Google Analytics. Analytics offers a huge suite of customizable reports that answers questions about the effectiveness of your site, like what are people reading and viewing? How much time do they spend on your site? If you have an e-commerce site, where are people abandoning their shopping carts, which is very important. If you advertise with Google, this data integrates into analytics reports so that you can measure the effectiveness of your ad campaigns. To sum it up, Google Analytics reports can help you make smart decisions about your website design, your content, and your functionality. And of course, this link here, google.com/analytics, will take you right to it to learn more or to get your page signed up. Before you start using analytics, you want to develop a strategy. Since it provides a wealth of data information, without a plan going in, it might be difficult to know where to begin. A strategy allows you to view this data through a framework that fits your goals. For example, you might decide to focus on 3 ways to promote your products and services by using search engine optimization, email marketing, and display advertising. You can use the reports that correspond to these 3 strategies to learn what works and what can be improved. You start by identifying and setting your goals and key performance indicators, also known as KPIs. If you don't have a goal, you can't measure it. So your goal might be to increase your sales leads by 10%. You can use analytics to learn whether or not your strategies are helping you get there. And next is to collect your useful data. Sometimes finding the numbers you're looking for in analytics is like searching for a needle in a haystack. Identifying what data helps you track and measure progress towards your goal will help you. Finally, you can learn from the data. You analyze it, you go over it, tweak your strategies, and you start all over again. You should always be testing your strategies to make sure that you're not losing out on any other opportunities. So here we go. We have 3 more real-world examples where analytics can come in handy. The first is to learn where your sales are coming from. Your business can use a variety of different channels to advertise online, but you're not always sure which channels are working better than others. The acquisition reports will show you which channels are driving traffic to the site and which lead to conversions. The second is understanding what works. You know that content is an important factor in keeping your website useful and relevant. Part of your SEO strategy is to create content on a regular schedule, whether it's writing blog posts, adding photos, or uploading videos to your site. It is time-consuming, so you want to see what content resonates the most with your audience. You can use the behavior reports to see what content visitors are actually looking at and where they exit the website. This information can help you refine your content creating strategy and know what to focus on for the future. And the third is to evaluate your online store. If you have an e-commerce website, you want to make sure it's easy for customers to make a purchase. Use the checkout behavior analysis report to see how customers move through the checkout steps. You can see where people get stuck and abandon the process, which is a good clue for making improvements to your website. So now the third and the most important piece, in my opinion, is the mobile-friendly test. First, why? Why is being mobile-friendly so important? Well, as of 2016, more people access the internet via mobile and tablet than desktop computers. Mobile search has been steadily on the rise, and now about half of all searches are on Google. Mobile optimization is no longer the next stage of your online strategy. It's something you need to consider from the start, and you need to start doing right away if you haven't done so. Take a look at these two examples on the screen. One is a view of a mobile-friendly site, and one is not. Which option do you think would be better for mobile visitors? Obviously, I hope it's obvious that the answer is the screen on the right. You don't have to zoom in on your phone to look at the words. Everything is right up there. The tabs on the side aren't any hard to click on. Everything's a drop down. It's just a more clean look. Since so many searches happen on demand and in the moment, it's important that you appear in the search on any platform and that your content is easy to read and maneuver. So how can you do this? Google makes this extremely simple with one website. testmysite.thinkwithgoogle.com. This is Google's free mobile website speed testing tool. It tests scores. They measure mobile friendliness, which is the quality of the experience site visitors have when browsing on a phone. To be mobile friendly, the site should have tappable buttons that are easy to navigate from a small screen and have the most important information front and center. Even simple things such as your phone number you should be able to click on them, so you don't have to worry about copying and pasting or trying to remember the number and going back and forth. It should just be a simple click. The test will also measure your mobile speed or how long it takes for the site to load on your phone. Keep in mind that it's not just the strength of the web connection that determines the mobile speed, but it's also the elements on the web page. Whether you have too many plugins or downloads or videos, if it takes too long to load, people will probably abandon your site. The third is that it measures desktop speed as a comparison. After evaluating your site, this test generates a report with a list of specific suggestions that can improve your score. The scores range from 0 to 100, with obviously 100 being the best score. So just some quick things to factor in. The first part, being mobile friendly. Here are some of the factors to get a better score. Are the size tap targets, such as buttons and links and form fields, are they too small or too close together for a visitor to easily tap on a touchscreen? Does the site avoid plugins incompatible with mobile devices? Does the content fit in the screen? Do visitors have to scroll to see it? And does the site use legible fonts? The second is your speed. You want to consider that the images on the page are optimized for mobile. Many technical considerations that impact mobile speed are browser caching, compression, landing page redirects, and many other things. If you're not too familiar with coding and the specifics behind websites, you can always ask your website developer for help implementing these recommendations. Of course, you can send us an email, and we'll do our best to help you. If you've created a website yourself using something like WordPress or Wix, you should have some type of contact or local expert that can help you with this as well. And the third is the speed on the desktops. This, like I said, is just a comparison to show you how quickly you can view the page on your desktop based on compared to using it on your phone. So now that we've covered the specifics behind the scenes on Google, let's talk about evaluating the performance of your Google My Business listing itself. By using Google My Business, you can create and claim a free listing for your business. These screenshots show how a business could appear on Google Search Maps for a searcher nearby. Business owners can create or claim a business listing by visiting google.com/business. To manage information, the business must be verified. The owner, which could be yourself, should prove your ownership. It can be done in a variety of ways. Most people request the postcard sent by mail with a PIN code, but what makes it really easy, especially for SBDC clients, including yourself for attending today, there's an expedited verification process. If you click this link, gybo.com/verify-my-business, you can enter the specifics, enter your username, business name, and city. And then for partner organization and email, this would be my contact right here. And then you'll shortly after receive a follow-up with maybe a couple questions just to confirm that your verification is complete. And that will get you listed on the map. It's very simple. So here's 3 things that you can learn and do with Google My Business. The first is, how do customers search for your business? Sorry about that. Once a business listing is verified, the owner can see a list of integrated reports called insights. Tracking begins at the time of your verification. Local insights provide an inside look at how consumers find a business listing on the Google search and maps. Insights focuses on how they use search and maps to find a business listing and what they do once they find it. You can take a look at the first report here, labeled How Customers Search for Your Business. It shows you the total number of searches that surfaced your business information on Google. From that total, you can also see 2 ways customers found you. The first is through direct impressions, which are the result of an address search or direct name search. The second, you can see discovery impressions, which indicate that the customer found your listing when searching by category or browsing the maps or searching your information in a people also search for search. That was a mouthful. Such as searching bakeries near me. Pretty much anytime you do a near me search, you want to make sure that you show up. So once you've learned how people find your information, what can you do? If you have a lower number of direct impressions, it might indicate that you could work on brand recognition because searchers are looking for you that way. If you have a lower number of category impressions, it might indicate that your business listing could use more information to help Google understand the nature of your business. Make sure that all of your business information is selected. You can double check your business category, ask customers to write reviews, make sure you always respond to them, add photos, update your hours, holiday hours, things like that. Over time, this can definitely help. There's even a pretty cool tool that gives you the option to create like a virtual tour. So the next is, where did customers view your business information? The listing on search means that they came from the Google My Business information using Google search. This is different than a customer finding your website. It shows how your Google My Business information surfaced. Listing on maps means that your information was discovered either while searching or browsing on Google Maps particularly. Combining this information with how customers found your information, you can get a good idea of how customers are finding your business. A high amount of listing on search results and a high percentage of direct searches from a previous slide means that customers are inputting your business's name directly into search instead of looking for you on maps. So what can you do? Check your Google My Business listing to make sure your business location is entered correctly. Did you choose the best category? Is the address correct? Is the PIN marker in the correct place on the map? And did you specify a service area or a storefront business? Meaning, if you don't exactly have a storefront, you can check off that you have a service area and put in a specific zip code, rather than using your home address. And third, where actions did customers take with your business information? This report shows you customer actions. Once a potential customer finds you, there's a variety of things that they can do directly from your listing. A website is a great way to find out more about a business, so you can see how many people click directly over to your website from your Google My Business listing. If you're exactly what a customer is looking for, they can request directions directly to your business. This is only tracked if they click to get directions directly from your listing. It doesn't track people who just put in your address. This information is not available for service area businesses with the hidden address like I just mentioned. Sometimes the best way to learn more about a business is to call it directly. Insights also track how many people click on the option to call your business. This data is further broken down in secondary graph where you can see which days your listing is generating the most calls. So the Google My Business listing process is very simple to set up and customize. I've covered the specifics on previous webinars, but if you'd like assistance and more specific information, please let me know. If you have any questions at this point, you can start entering them in the chat box and I'll address them at the end. I'm going to cover this last section pretty briefly. Not everyone may be up to this stage in their business or have the budget to look into advertising yet. Of course, if you are and you'd like to cover this individually, I'd be happy to take your request afterwards. So, evaluating your ad campaigns. We'll review the search engine results page again so you can see how ads appear. Advertisements can appear at the top and bottom of the page, above and below the organic results. The images at the top are shopping ads promoting products sold by online retailers. Text ads can appear below. Ads are paid placements. Advertisers compete against each other, bidding in a real-time auction for the opportunity to show their ads on search results page. It's important to note that advertisers are not charged when ads appear. They only pay if searchers click on the ad. That's why this advertising model is called pay-per-click or cost-per-click. In AdWords Express, you can see reporting on 3 types of interactions with your ads: views, clicks, and calls. We'll look at them a little more closely. The first is ad views, also known as ad impressions. It tells you how many times your ad was displayed, whether someone clicked it or not. It also conveniently breaks up the devices. So, like we mentioned before, smartphones, this shows 77% were viewed on smartphones, only 9% on tablets, and 13% on computers. It also breaks down the sources, whether it's straight from Google or through a partner site or other. That could be social media or something else like that. The second is your clicks. Once your ad starts running, you'll receive the number of how many clicks it has. Just as it sounds, how often the ad was clicked. And once again, I said you don't actually pay for the ad unless it's being clicked on. And the third is call reporting. This tells you the number of phone calls you received through your ads. This reporting is available if you only enable the optional feature called call reporting. This shows the number of calls received as a direct result of your AdWords Express ad. It works just like this. Google assigns a unique temporary phone number to display with your ad. Then calls to this number are forwarded to your actual business phone number. You can turn call reporting on and off in AdWords Express account. And here's a little bonus for you. You can connect to Google Analytics. Creating business goals in AdWords Express can help you measure how well your website meets your business expectations. A goal represents a completed activity, whether it's a call to conversion, that leads to a success of your business. Examples of goals include making a purchase, signing up for a newsletter, and other things like that. If you're already using Google Analytics to track traffic to and on your website, you can link your Google Analytics account with your AdWords Express account. Once both are linked, you can then see your ad's performance on your AdWords Express dashboard. For example, the number of times a customer made a purchase and the number of people who signed up for your newsletter. That's the perfect way to track whether or not this is working for you. You will have to have both accounts set up with the same sign-in email address, which would be your Google account. If you already have an analytics account with the same address, we can show you the option to link your accounts on the dashboard. If you're setting it up for the very first time, you'll need to add a tracking tag to your website. If you're comfortable doing this yourself, add the tag to every web page that you'd like. You can also learn more in the AdWords Express Help Center, or if someone else manages your site, you can always ask them for help. So what's next? I do see some questions, and I'll get to them in just a second. So what's next? We will recap very briefly and talk about your next steps. So the 3 things to do. First, you're going to visit google.com/webmasters and create a free Search Console account. Remember, to complete the verification, you'll need to do that before you can start seeing the report. Next is to create a Google Analytics account at google.com/analytics. You can also do this through AdWords Express. Remember to tag all the pages in your website so you can get a complete picture of visitor behavior on your site. And third is to give AdWords Express a try if you want to promote your products and services with online ads in Google. All of these tools are available for you through these links provided, as well as through your local SBDC. If you are in the Staten Island or South Brooklyn area and you'd like a one-on-one appointment with your business advisor and marketing team, we'd be happy to assist you. When the survey pops up following the webinar, please indicate it in the open box or simply send me an email. Here's my contact information. Of course, be sure to follow us on social media and visit our website to sign up for our email list. Question, does Shopify offer these analytics? I'm not too familiar with Shopify, to be honest with you, but you should be able to link that site, whether it's through your website, to Google Analytics in one way or another. But I will definitely look into that for you, and I can contact you after the webinar. I don't want to give you an answer that's wrong. I'm just not too familiar with the site. Do we have any other questions? I'll give you guys a minute to type anything in. And again, a survey will pop up when you exit the webinar. If you could please take about 30 seconds to complete it. Reviews definitely help me provide more resources and webinars for you. And another reminder is that our next webinar will be on September 27th at 10:30 a.m. You can visit sisbdc.org/ontheweb2017, or just go to our website directly, and you can click on the Webinar Wednesday photo to register. Okay, to answer that Shopify question real quickly, we did a quick search, and you can track your sales and growth trends. I don't know if it's as specific as the Google Analytics, because this can literally break down your website into very specific segments. Like we said, you know, the time of day, the location, type of person that's on your site, which pages they go to, where they fall off, how long they're spending on the page. All the little specifics are pretty important when you have a website like that, but you can track some of your goals through Shopify. Okay, I am going to stop the recording at this time. Like I said, I will send out an email with all of the links and a recording of this webinar. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope to hear you all log in on the 27th. Thank you very much for attending.